Well, congratulations again. You have had such a massive year in music, in touring. You released your album Homeland, and then most recently you have your single Stick Around through Universal Music. Congratulations. I love your social media stories that you do for the story behind the song. You've done them for your past two albums. So what is the story behind the song for Stick Around?
That's a good one. Thank you for appreciating the story behind the songs, because those take a lot of work. But they're not the most outwardly accessible, so sometimes they don't get appreciated. But no, that's great to hear that you've read them and stuff. That's awesome. So for Stick Around, I mean, it was a really big deal because we won the showcase last year, and that was the single we were going to basically work on. So we went to Toronto. We met up with we actually had 5 days in Toronto. We did some writing, and then we met up with the producer Derek Hoffman, who's a really cool guy, very talented in many ways, and we worked on Stick Around with him. The idea just came about when we were sitting in his studio. He had this cool riff, and then we wrote Stick Around just in one day. Basically, it was a long day, but we finished the song that day, and then the second day we went back and recorded it with him, and we just kind of it just kind of morphed and changed. It started with this riff that was really interesting, and then we got the banjo in there, and then the whole vibe just kind of came when we figured out the harmonies and stuff like that. And the song is just kind of about a relationship and the parts of the relationship that are real. It's not always the glamorous side of it, but it's pretty real and it's relatable, and just how you want them to stick around through the hard times and everything. So yeah, it was a really cool experience to work on that song with Derek, and then have Universal support it as it's out now is really awesome.
Yeah, awesome. What is your songwriting process like, whether it be for Stick Around or your other 2 albums? What does that look like between you guys?
It kind of varies depending on the song and the time where we're at. That was our first time co-writing with a producer, from the get-go, from the very dawn of that song. But it's happened many ways for us, whether we write together sitting down and we each take a verse of a song, or whether we come with an idea but it's only half complete and then we complete it together. But ultimately we write together and we all sing, so we kind of take turns. And so yeah, it's hard to say. Some songs happen in a day and some songs happen over 3 years, right? It changes.
Yeah. Where do you find inspiration from? When do you find you're most inspired for songwriting, whether where you are, what you're doing?
Inspiration. Yeah. I think inspiration for songwriting, for me anyways, comes out in the subconscious in a way. I don't often we don't often think about okay, this is a thing that I want to write about, let's do it. Thinking of a melody, chord progression, and sometimes the words, I'll just say gibberish and then words will come out, and then that will take you on the story of something that is going on in your life and is relatable. But it's interesting that it's somehow somewhere deep in your mind, and it just needs to be brought out, and the timing needs to be right for that. So yeah.
I want to talk about your time on tour this year. So I have a question for all of you. What is a favorite memory? You went all the way to Nova Scotia, back to Ontario on this tour. What is each of your favorite memory or moment, or one of them, from the tour?
Favorite memory, that's a tough one. I'm sure it will be all different. We had a great time hanging out in Quebec City. We were kind of on that stage of the tour where it's we really got to get going. We have to start our drive. But we had our good buddy Sammy out there with us doing doing social media content for us. And he kind of pushed us with that little, when are you going to be in Quebec City next time? So we spent a couple of extra hours exploring the city and seeing what Quebec City was all about. So that was definitely a memorable experience. Kind of night where you're I don't really want to go out, but then you go out and you have a great time.
Favorite memory? I mean, for me it'd be eating seafood, Summerside PEI, the most miraculous sunset. The times on the East Coast are just the best, and seafood just makes it all better.
Nice.
I would say mine was kind of dispersed throughout the tour, but it was seeing a familiar face when you wouldn't necessarily expect it, or when it was you did expect it because it's a family member or friend that's across the country and you get to see them. That was really, really, it really filled our tank, I think, to see the people that we kind of know and love, and then just to meet new people. It's just the people made it the experience, really, and these guys. So yeah.
That was very well said. I agree with all of their answers. I think, yeah, it was really cool because it was a testament to the power of the internet that like these people came out because they found us online and stuff like that. So it was really cool to see people we had never met before coming to our shows and stuff. And then to commemorate the tour, we also got tour tats. So we got a seahorse to commemorate the first venue in the tour. So we got seahorse tattoos in Quebec City. So that deepens our memorable time in Quebec City. So yeah, we had to do it.
Nice. You're bond now. You can't.
Exactly. Yeah.
You both brought up social media there a bit, and I think it's so interesting how social media keeps continuing to change the landscape for music and how people find bands and musicians. I love so many of your videos. There's the Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie one you made in RV, or like the Seinfeld ones. When you have to come up with content like that, how are you thinking about it or collaborating with your collaborators that help you come up with content, thinking what you're going to put out that way?
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. We usually just riff off each other, and then it just comes to this point that none of us could have individually thought of, and then we're like, oh, that's hilarious. And we're usually all in agreement, so like, okay, this is what we should do and stuff. It's pretty fun. We're always on the same page, I find, too, with a lot of things. So we're always kind of have the same goal in mind, which is good. And then we just riff off each other. Funny ideas, come out. And then we're like, oh, and then it's like this. But then, he chimes in, whatever. Anyway, so then, and a lot of the content we do ourselves, we also have some people that help us, and they kind of understand the vision as well. Like, yeah, so.
Shout out to Sammy.
Shout out to Sammy on tour. Yeah, it was great.
Some funny ideas on, like, Seinfeld stuff and, like, that kind of thing. Or we never really would have thought of that, but he's like a movie director, videographer guy, and he's got all these creative ideas, and it's like really fun hanging out with him. So
yeah, I was gonna say it feels very creative and authentic, so it's really fun to watch.
yeah.
Well, last question I want to ask all of you before we wrap up here. I talk about on my podcast, obviously music a lot, but movies and TV shows. Anything you're currently watching that you're loving?
I'm currently watching House of the Dragon, which is like the Game of Thrones prequel thing. I'm not up to date on it, so don't spoil it, but yeah, it's a good show. I got really into Game of Thrones, so I'm just kind of, it's like they're continuing it on. So
Nice.
I don't watch a ton of movies, but I'm currently watching Little House on the Prairie TV show, and it's just this like 1800s cowboy like moving across America, trying to, live life in a new land, and that kind of stuff is just cool to me.
Nice.
I don't know. I'm not sure I have a great answer, to be honest. I've been watching movies, periodically, kind of thing. I honestly feel like movies are too long right now. Like, we gotta go back to hour and 30.
So you're not pulling up to the Odyssey.
2-hour movies like that are like kind of silly comedies. Like, it's a hard thing for me, honestly. Trailer Park Boys. Anytime you can go rewatch that. Like, that's always classic.
Are the movies longer or are our attention spans shorter? My attention span's short, but I gotta say, I'm getting into the Hunger Games world here. I watched the prequel, and then I'm like, now I have to rewatch the three ones that came out first. Yeah. Although I don't even think I've seen the third one. And then there's a new one coming out too. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'm getting wrapped up in the world a little bit. My algorithm's starting to show me like tons of Hunger Games stuff. So yeah, I'm like getting into it. Yeah, it's time, exactly. Whatever their media stuff is working, whatever they're doing to promote it's working on me, so.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it. Congratulations again on everything that's been in the past year, and can't wait to see your set tonight.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.